is 7 p.m., so take your seats and we will get this show on the road. Oh, thank you.
Are we okay here? Thanks.
Okay, let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Lori, would you like to lead us? Oh, actually, no, I want you to do the next one. Who wants to do the democratically? Nancy, look at you.
We believe all people are created equal, that this is America's fundamental ideal. We believe that America is a democracy by and for the people, ruled by the Constitution and its interpretations, protected by the Bill of Rights, and inspired by the Declaration of Independence. We believe these founding documents demand freedom, justice, and opportunity for all Americans in full and equal.
Oops.
I lost my mic too.
Really?
I think it came back.
In full and equal measure.
It was there. It was
In full and equal measure, regardless of who you are, what you believe, or where you live. We believe that the duty of government is to strive endlessly to make the ideals of freedom, justice, and opportunity a reality for all. We believe that the purpose of government is to protect our nation, defend our democracy, and to endlessly promote the welfare of each and every one of us. We believe that fighting for these ideals is our purpose as a political party.
here.
Thank you. All right, and now last, flag acknowledgement.
Please join us as we recognize and acknowledge that our Greene County communities were built on the indigenous homelands of the good and many people of the Shawnee, Miami, and other Iroquoian, Siouan, and Algonquian bands. Today we are gathered on the unceded lands of these historic bands and nations. We ask you to acknowledge these communities, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. We are obligated to educate each other with accurate information about the history of this land.
Something really weird about the
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, moving on. I have not seen our secretary show up. Do we have a quorum? Put your hand up.
If you're a member, yeah.
Yes, we do. We've got more than 19. All right, well, thank you everyone for coming. Okay. Does it need to be turned down? Maybe I just, there we go. Find that nice medium. All right, welcome everybody. This is our regular executive committee meeting. But we have a special feature tonight, obviously, our candidates. All right, so yeah, we have a whole bunch of candidates here, obviously. Here's our rules for how it's going to go. It's basically 3 minutes intro for everyone. We've got members here from the State Central Committee, House of Representatives, Secretary of State, District 10, and the Senate. So myself and Secretary of State, we're not taking questions because we don't want to sit here all night and we don't have a competitive primary. There'll be plenty of time for questions for us in the future. So yeah, we have our gavel. Where's Amana? Oh, actually, who would like to, Lynn, would you like to be our timer? Sure. We're just gonna knock the gavel when you've got 30 seconds left. 3. Thank you. Oh, job, and I made sure of this. All right, so let's bring up our first set. So it's going to be the State Central Committee. Do you want to move on to the next slide? So come on up, Steve Young, Mitchell Rock, Sharon Newhart, and Amana Kohler. Give them a round of applause. Yeah, we've got a bunch of chairs. We've got 6. You can choose 4 of them, I guess. Now, is that going to shine in your eyes?
Like, if you sit on these 4, then you won't block the things bad. Yeah, no, that doesn't matter too much though.
All right, and should you go in the order that we've got?
That's fine, I don't care.
You can, Mitchell, well, you'll find out who's who, right? Okay. As we go. All right, so, so let's start off the State Central Committee. If you don't know, you're about to find out. So let's start with Steve Young. You'll see the male and female. There's actually 2 seats, one for a male, one for a female. So Steve, you've got 3 minutes. You want to stand up and even move out to the side so the sun isn't shining in your eyes.
Sons.
What if I like the spotlight?
You like this
I'm fairly new to politics. I've never voted for a central committee person before that I know of, but I think that was a good place to start. I feel there's a lot of things I can impart for the Democratic Party policies and procedures moving forward, including better communication with the county precincts and the county chairperson. And I'm actually on the ballot twice. I'm running for the Greene County Central Committee as well as the State Central Committee. So you get 2 chances to vote for me. And I always introduce myself as Steve Young, not the quarterback. That way it's easy to remember. So. Is 3 minutes up?
It's 3 minutes max.
You're good. Yeah,
I'm good.
You don't have
We're not supposed to take questions or not?
That will happen after everyone introduces
Oh,
themselves. So
okay.
round of applause for Steve. All right, Mitchell, you're up next.
My name is Mitchell O'Rourke.
I know, I don't know.
You can put it down so you're not.
My name is Mitch.
On the spot, just talk. Just
Are you a quarterback?
I'm not a quarterback. No.
Is this fine? It's going
Just
here?
hold it away, just hold it like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a quarterback. No. I am running for State Central Committee for District 10, and I've been working with the Greene County Democrats for a little over a year now. And one of the most important things that I'm proud of is the medical debt relief initiative that we worked on. I presented an idea to Kim of what if we wiped away as much medical debt for Greene County residents as we could. And so we worked together and we raised about $2.5 million worth of medical debt for Greene County residents. And I'm really proud of that because it was an off election year, we weren't really running for anything, but I still felt that as a party, we should work to still make our communities better, even if we're not running. We should show people that no matter what, as a political party, we care about making our communities better. And that's exactly what we're trying to do, Amana and I, when we get elected to the State Central Committee. You're going to hear a lot of the same stuff when Amana talks, because our campaign is physically a ticket together. We're running on the same 3 principal matters. More transparency between the Ohio Democratic Party and all the constituents who we represent. The second one is better youth participation, better youth engagement. You hear a lot about people, the upper echelon Democrats talk about how we need to get more young people invested, we need to get more young people voting. but we never go towards the direction that the young people are going. So if we actually want to see that, we have to make an actual change in our party. And third, and this is the one I like the most, it's getting dark money out of our primaries. Now, what do I mean by dark money? Dark money can be shady money, dark, shadowy, so the money that, no one knows it's coming from. 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
Ooh, okay. That's the dark money from big business, corporations, billionaires, foreign lobbyists. We have to get rid of this from our system. I'm saying we need a grassroots campaign primary pledge. If you're a member of the Ohio Democratic Party and you're running in a primary, you should pledge to not take any dark money at all.
I hope I don't fall off here. This would be a bad beginning here. Hi, everybody. I'm Sharon Newhart. If you don't know who I am already, a little background. I'm an attorney. I live in Miami Township, just north of Yellow Springs, and I'm a lifelong Democrat. Many of you may know me or know my name because I ran for Congress twice to represent Greene County and some other parts of the state. I also was the Democratic candidate for Lieutenant Governor in 2014. So I've had a lot of experience with Democratic politics statewide, and I have a lot of ideas about what's wrong with it. But many of you may know me because my husband and I own a farm that's just on the northern border of Yellow Springs on Block 68, right before you get to New Jersey Dairy. And you might know it because that's where the 11-acre sunflower field is that plants. Everybody always says to me, well, when is it going to bloom? I'm like, what do I know? It blooms like 35 days after it's planted. And so whenever the farmer gets around to planting it, we get the sunflowers. But it brings people a lot of joy, and it's something that people in our community can do for free without having to get a ticket or a pass or pay any amount of money. So we love our sunflower field. We also love it because our farm is protected by an easement, which is held by Tecumseh Land Trust. So our farm can never be developed. It can only be green space and farmland. Let's see here, I have some minutes. Okay, I'm running for Democratic Central Committee, and it's for Senate District 10. Senate District 10 includes Greene County, Clark County, and Madison County. And the Central Committee, in case you don't know, is supposed to be the governing body for the party. Its big job is to elect the party chair, and it's supposed to set policies for the party. Here's a couple things I want to see the party do, or the Central Committee. First of all, I want to see the party stop looking in its rearview mirror and look to the future. Because the good old days are not the good old days anymore, and we need to figure out how to be a robust party for the rest of the 21st century. I also want to see financial disclosures and conflicts of interest for party leadership that we've never had before. And I want the party to figure out how to have all of the counties grow and thrive, just not the big 8. And so what I pledge to do, if you elect me, is I will try my damnedest to do the right thing, and I will always be there for you, for Greene County, and Ohio Democratic Party. Thank you.
And last, but by no means least, Monica.
Hello everyone, my name is Amana Kohler. I am the current operations director for the Greene County Democratic Party. I am the secretary for Ohio's first Progressive Caucus. Aside from that, I am the former president for Wright State's College Democrats, and there's probably something else there. I don't remember. Moral of the story, I'm usually doing a lot with politics specifically. Within the last year, I've gotten really engaged with the Greene County Democratic Party, but also the Ohio Democratic Party. Being probably one of the only young people you will ever see in politics around here. Obviously notice there's a lack of us, so that is something huge that Mitchell and I are running on. The average age for the State Central Committee right now is 60. Which I love my older individuals, but as someone who gets to listen to Democrats talk constantly about getting young people in there, the youngest person in office is in their late 20s, and after that it's 40s and 60s and beyond. If Mitchell and I get elected, I am freshly 22, Mitchell is 21, we would be the youngest people in State Central Committee.
Yeah.
Aside from that, just to give a little bit more about myself, I graduated from Wright State University in December. I got my bachelor's in political science, a minor in legal studies, and a certificate in Spanish. So I'm usually always doing something. Just to elaborate a little bit more on the other stuff, we talked about young people already. When we talk about transparency, I want to elaborate more on that. How many of you even know we had a State Central Committee? Raise your hands. Yeah.
So people raise their hands.
Oh, did you ask already?
Well, just who is part of the executive committee, we know.
I was busy. I was really busy dealing with someone out there. So for the State Central Committee, the way I like to think of it, it's kind of a branch of the executive party. We elect the chair for the State Central Committee. We also do endorsements, and in a way we also can decide what direction the Ohio Democratic Party is going in. I do not think it is a problem to have an issue with the Ohio Democratic Party and want them to be better, and I am running because I want them to succeed. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Donald Trump got elected when I was 12. This is all I've ever known, and I'm really tired of hearing about how things used to be. I don't know a Democratic Party any different than what we've experienced now, and I want to change that so we don't have to keep being a party of losing, respectfully, or having policies that don't work with working people. And that's where having better engagement with them as a young person and also being more transparent can have a lot of benefits. And I will elaborate more in the questions. Thank you.
All right, it's nice to have choices, and I think basically people have campaigned more in this race than ever in the history of Greene County for these seats. So it's really good to see a heightened level of engagement and people caring. You know, is there something going on around here to make people care a little bit more? I don't know. All right, question time. All right, so the Ohio Democratic Party recently, and I say recently, about a year ago, changed the bylaws to stop endorsing in primaries. So, hey, stop leading the witnesses. But it seems, if you've noticed the recent endorsements that we did, emergencies came up that overrode that. So I guess the question is, how do you feel about endorsing in primaries? Is there circumstances where we should, or do you think that the voters should decide? You're closest to me, so you're first.
Well, obviously we should not endorse in primaries, it's for the people to decide. Historically, I mean, primaries used to be these backroom, smoke-filled room deals where the big heads of the party would decide who the candidate is. But now, today, that it's not how it should be. You vote for it and the people decide, and that's how it should be.
What circumstances would
Allow
you, do you think it's ever reasonable?
I don't think it is ever necessary. I mean, if your candidate is good, then they should be able to win the primary. I don't understand what the emergency would be. So, no, just let the people decide. Simple as that.
Thank you.
In the past, Democratic primaries and Republican primaries have been used as an excuse to not allow underdog candidates to come out, which are traditionally progressive candidates. We see that now going on in the election. The Ohio Democratic Party endorsed at least 2 candidates in February that had primary opponents, which is something they are not supposed to do per their bylaws. And as far as I'm aware, when that vote occurred, it was very under the rug, and it was rushed and it was not open to discussion. That is something I am incredibly against, especially being in a county Democratic Party where we hold ourselves to standards where we do not endorse in primaries, no matter how many times people ask us if we have a preferred candidate list every election. And I don't think there are very many circumstances that would require the Democratic Party to endorse in primaries except under very particular circumstances, which I'm sure the bylaws require since they decided to ignore them anyways. That is my response.
Thank you. 90 seconds. Oh, you did, sorry, I forgot. Yeah. And a ticket, knock at 30 to go.
I'm going to take a contrary position because I think that there are times, and particularly in primaries, like, look, how many people are running for Congress in Ohio 10 now? 6. Okay. Lots of times it's hard for people in primaries to sort out what's going on. And so I don't think it's bad if a party says, this is really important and we want you to know about these candidates and we want to endorse somebody. I will just give an example. I do endorsements and help Planned Parenthood. And Planned Parenthood is always grappling with this. Do we endorse in primaries or don't we? But for us, it's important because what if there's a candidate that is really in favor of Planned Parenthood and what we're doing and somebody who isn't? And if we don't voice this and let people know, then they might not know and the wrong party from our perspective might get endorsed. So I think it's a rule not to endorse, but I could see in extraordinary circumstances that we should do it to get the best Democrat on the ticket to defeat the Republicans.
I guess I won't respond.
You're taking the easy way out.
I know. I didn't talk about myself, and I was a manager at NCR. I owned a construction company, built homes in Centerville, Springboro, and I've been in real estate for 35 years. And I was an officer in the Army Corps of Engineers. Hoorah! So you can tell I'm old, and I think there's no wrong vote of the 4 of us. I think there's a plus to the young people, which I'm in favor of, and I think there's a plus to older candidates that have more experience. So, as a non-endorsed primary candidate, that's my response.
All right. Thank you. All right. So, question number 2. What do you think is the most critical internal change that ODP could make so that, I don't know, we could start winning again and people trust us as a party? The biggest internal change. Steve, do you want to not answer this one as well?
Because I haven't figured a way out yet, but I think it's important that the Democratic Party start being more vocal. I think my wife and I have talked about why them seem to be kind of shy about saying who we are and what we're for. And I think that could make a difference. I think sometimes people don't know we're here because we don't say anything. And I think canvassing and advertisement and signs and having a bad president could help. Am I done?
You're done when you're done. Thank you. All right, biggest internal change to improve our perception with the public.
I talked about a little bit about this in my initial remarks. You can spend far too long looking in the rearview mirror for the good old days. And you can think that, you know, the kids today, other than these guys, because they're big in the Greene County Party, but my kids never thought about what county they were from. People today think in much different terms. They have social media, they have all of these things. Their worldview is much more, they've drawn their eyes up to see. And the party has been drugged, screaming and whining about how to do this for a long time. And instead of figuring out things like how to help parties like Greene County, which maybe, let's make sure we're talking to all these other counties and getting together so that as a force, we can do this as opposed to just being Greene County and Dark County and Preble County. We don't do that. But again, that's because we're still looking in the rearview mirror instead of looking forward.
I have a couple changes in mind. First, getting rid of dark money in primaries. Completely ruining how we run primaries as a Democratic Party. If we uphold our candidates to have strong moral codes, why are we allowing them to take money from places we would never take money? We should not be allowing candidates to do that, especially when there's other Democrats who have vowed not to take that money. Secondly, getting more young people involved. I'm sorry, there's all my campaign things. But as a Democratic Party, gearing their interests to a way that better understands young people, which I think comes from county support. The Ohio Democratic Party does a very poor job right now of staying in connection with their county parties, which is sad because the county parties are where the foundation of their support is coming from. If you aren't supporting your infrastructure, you're not going to have support at the top to get the things that you need done. Aside from that, the lack of transparency we have about the Ohio Democratic Party and the decisions, but also the DNC. The DNC never released their analysis of the 2024 election and why Democrats lost. So they surely have the answers, but we don't know them. And I think it's incredibly important that if Democrats want to be open and winning again, they need to be open with their constituents and the people that support them so we can be more outward about it and better understand ourselves. Thank you.
It's gonna sound a bit like an echo come from me. Like I said, a grassroots primary pledge. We have to start, if we want to make a change within our country, we have to start here at home. We have to force our party to hold these candidates accountable. We need grassroots campaigning, no more dark money. Because we have to think about why someone like Trump won 10 years ago. It's because he was able to rally all these people because he said he was anti-establishment. And we've been the establishment for these 10 years, for more than 10 years really. We have to start going to where the people are. It's a 90-10 issue. People don't want billionaires controlling their government. And so if we want to make a change nationally, we have to start here at home. That's what I think.
All right, that's it from our state central committee candidates. Let's give them a round of applause.
Are these the only people running?
There are 4 male candidates and there are 2 female candidates. The people that are here have responded to multiple emails, and the ones that have not talked to me.
Yeah, so there's what, David Farrell, he's the incumbent. Do you know who he is?
Chair of the Clark County Democratic Party, isn't he?
No.
No.
Decades ago.
And then Todd Leventhal
Todd Leventhal
from Yellow Springs is the other man. So
I'm sorry.
he was out of town.
I run all the emails. I know who didn't respond to me.
All right, so state reps, come on down. Kim and Preston. I'm Kim, by the way.
Is that what that says on your shirt?
No, I was like, does anyone Have a seat. I'm numerically before you, so I'm going to go first. Like I said, I'll keep this short because everyone hears from me so often. But my name is Kim McCarthy. I am running for District 70. It's the third time. I ran in 18 and 20, and we are here to wrap it up this time. I am the chair of the party. That's why I stand up here with the mic. I'm just at the end of my first term of 4 years. We all are at the end of our first term, about to have the reorg next month, which we'll talk about later. But I'm also the chair of the brand new ODP Progressive Caucus that Amana mentioned. Boy, am I paying for that, let me tell you. But yeah. So I'm an accountant, I'm a mother of 3, and I'm an immigrant, moving here from Australia more than 30 years ago.
We couldn't tell.
I gotta cover the basics, David. Be quiet in the front row. Yeah, so I'm running, you know, I've said this a few times, right? I'm already feeling like I'm repeating the same speech, but, you know, we looked around and was like, who is best to win this seat? This is our best chance. No offense to 71, but 70 is way closer than 71 is. Who's our best chance? And unfortunately, it was me. So I'm back. I didn't think I was going to run again. I'm perfectly happy being the chair and helping everyone else run. But we are in a crisis, and I'm worried about what comes after this year, frankly. So here I am back again. So, like I said, 2018, we had massive gains. We were one of the highest performing campaigns in the state, and we are within spitting distance now. So what's happened since 2020? We've done all this work in the Greene County Party. We've been organizing the county. We've got our systems. We know what we're doing now. In 18 and 20, we were just flying by the seat of our pants. And we still did well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to what we can do now that we are organized and got our shit together. Yeah. I haven't done a 3-minute speech yet, so I'm probably already waiting.
No, you're at 2.
I'm at 2, all right.
Yeah.
2 minutes already?
Yeah.
Oh shit, all right. So, we know what the problem is, right? Our government has shrunk itself and handed over its responsibilities to big business. And guess what big business thinks about your paid leave and about your health care and all the rest of it? They don't care. It is the government's responsibility to protect its citizens from capitalism, and our government fails. In fact, they just get straight into bed with them and say to all of you. So that's why I'm running. My 3 priorities: healthcare, universal. Secondly, essential services, the whole data center, electric, childcare, all of those things that governments normally support so that you can go out and earn money and live a good life. And then the last thing, property taxes. We got to tax the rich so that our property taxes go down. There's no other way around it. You can pretend and do little band-aids and go, oh, I'll give take them here. Unless we bring back the $18 billion that's being given away, we've got no chance of bringing our property taxes down. Is that it?
You're done.
Krista McGaw could not make it tonight. This is Preston. You are her campaign manager. So come on.
Hi everybody. Glad to be here tonight. Krista's sorry she couldn't make it. She is instead in Jefferson Township in Jamestown. She's at their trustee meeting. They just found out recently that they're going to have to pay 9 times more for dispatch services than they were previously. Yeah, and the main issue that's causing that is lack of funding. And that's the story we're seeing with a lot of these local communities in this area, is that the state just is not willing to fund them. And so I met Krista a few months ago, and one of the things that really inspired me about her is this is someone who is very active in her community, very active. An example of that is why she's not here. She's, but this is someone who's at fairs, at festivals. If you're driving through Yellow Springs, she can point out somebody's house, tell you the history about it. She is a walking encyclopedia page. This is someone who cares about her community and someone who's going to fight for her community. And one of Krista's inspirations when running this campaign was something called Dirt Road Organizing. If you've never heard about it before, it's something that was founded by a former state senator from Maine who, when she was running, was in a very Republican, very rural district, just like District 71. And what her and her campaign manager did during that, they ran during 2020, is they went to constituents, to potential voters, and they said, hey, what can we do for you? How can we help you? How can we be an effective state representative for your interests? And they won. They won in a red district just by meeting people where their needs were. And that is what me and Krista are going to do over the next few months. You're probably going to be seeing us or one of us at these festivals, at these community events. And when we go canvass door to door, we're going to do the same thing. We're not going to talk, we're going to listen. And Krista understands that the Democratic Party is not going to get rural voters back just by waving a magic wand and hoping that the Republicans being bad is going to bring them back, because it's not. We have to go to them. We have to meet them at their doors, we have to talk to them, we have to go up to them and say, hey, how can we help? That is what is going to win us this campaign. That is going to help us beat Levi Dean, who's our opponent. And by the way, I just found out about this guy. Someone tried to call his office and said that he is rarely at work. He's mostly at his plumbing business. So we need to support someone who's actually going to be in our community fighting for our interests. If you want to support our campaign, and help our campaign, I've got QR codes in the back. We'll get you signed up with a volunteer form. Or if you got any questions for me, feel free to come up. But yes, Krista's going to show up for us. We have to show up for her. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Preston. All right, Secretary of State, come on up. So this is Jana Hamley, Brian's wife, who is here representing. And Allison has a video to share, so you've got the stage.
Wonderful, thank you. Hi everyone, as Chairman McCarthy said, my name is Jana Hamley. My husband, Brian Hamley, is running for Secretary of State. Thank you all for having me here tonight. It's an honor to be with you.
A little closer.
It's an honor to be with you, as you can tell, and I'm not used to speaking in the microphone. But it's also on a personal level really fun to get to be with this group, because one of my favorite campaign memories still is of an event with the Greene County Democratic Party last summer cleaning up a local park. So thank you for doing that and letting me come here tonight. So as you might imagine, Brian and I go way back. We will have been married 18 years this summer. And as long as I've known Brian, he has been a person of conviction, who believes in his values, and really puts an importance on the difference between right and wrong. That's what brought Brian to this race. He is running to end gerrymandering in Ohio so that the voices of Ohio. Along those same lines, Brian started this race with a commitment not to take corporate PAC money. Woo! That stands in contrast, unfortunately, with his primary opponent. Despite that, Brian has been able to raise nearly $1 million for his primary campaign. Brian's a hard worker. Brian has strong values, and Brian has been hitting the road across the state to hear what people in Ohio think is important and to have those issues be what is at the forefront of his campaign. He will bring that to a general election ticket in November, and he will continue to work across this state. He's from a rural community. He grew up on a rural family farm in Indiana, working the farm with his parents. He then continued his hard work, going to medical school, working 100-hour weeks on the wards. And he's going to continue that work ethic in the same way that he has in this primary election going into a general election in November. I think he's the right candidate to take the Democratic message across the state, whether it's to rural communities or urban centers. I think he's a new, friendly face that can hopefully bring some hope and help bring in some new voters to the Democratic Party and ticket. So with that, I humbly ask for your support for Brian in this primary election. Thank you again for having me, and if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Answer questions publicly on here.
Happy to chat off the record if anybody has anything, or if you have questions for Brian specifically, happy to put you in touch with him.
Thank you.
All right, so hopefully this video. Ready? Yeah.
Hello, Democrats. I'm Alice Russo, State Representative, former House Minority Leader, mom, and I'm running to be your next Secretary of State. I'm running because I believe something fundamental, and that is that power in Ohio should belong to the people, not to the politicians who manipulate the system to hold on to control. And right now, that power is being chipped away. Gerrymandering, biased ballot language, barriers that make it harder to vote. These aren't abstract issues to me. They're deliberate tactics that weaken the voices of everyday Ohioans. As your Secretary of State, I will put voters first, no matter the pressure, no matter the consequences, and yes, even if it means taking fire from a hostile legislature or Donald Trump himself. My journey here didn't start in politics. I spent more than 20 years working in public health policy, focused on solving real problems for real people. But after the 2016 election, I realized that being informed and engaged wasn't enough, and I knew that I had to step up. So in 2018, I ran for the state legislature, knowing nothing about campaigns, but everything about hard work and determination. And with a team of volunteers, we knocked on 45,000 doors. Together, we flipped a Columbus area seat from Republican to Democrat for the first time in nearly 2 decades. Now, there's a lot of talk in this race about flipping the Secretary of State's office, but I'm the only candidate who has actually done it. And not just for myself, I've helped others do it too. Now, in the legislature, I have fought for working families, for strong public schools, for reproductive rights, for labor protections, and the principle of one person, one vote. And that record has earned me the trust of my colleagues who elected and unanimously re-elected me as Democratic leader of the Ohio House. And that experience matters, because on day one, the Secretary of State must be ready to defend voting rights from attacks coming from both Columbus and Washington. Now, I've had a front row seat to how broken our system has become. Many of you know that I have served on the Ohio Redistricting Commission during some of the most contentious battles in our state's history. I didn't watch from the sidelines. I was in the arena fighting for fair maps, for direct democracy, and for reproductive freedom. And when the system gave us no good options, only bad ones, I made the tough call. I helped negotiate a map that prevented even worse gerrymandering, that gained Democratic seats, that restored pathways for citizen referendums, and created a real opportunity to break the supermajority this year and bring balance back to Ohio government. Was it perfect? No. Is the system still broken? Absolutely. But leadership isn't about pretending that there are easy answers. It's about making the best possible decision in the toughest moments. And that's what I've done my entire career. I tell the truth, I take the hits, and do the hard work anyway. And that's why I've earned the support of educators, of labor leaders, of grassroots organizations and colleagues who have worked alongside me in the trenches. It's why I've earned the endorsement of the Cleveland.com plain dealer, because they know that I don't back down. They know that I show up, and they know that I deliver. Right now, our democracy is under real threat. And this is not a moment for on-the-job training. Ohio needs a Secretary of State who is experienced, who is battle-tested, and ready for day one. But let me also be clear. This role is not about partisanship. It is about fairness. And as Secretary of State, I will administer this office the way it is meant to be run, fairly, impartially, and with integrity. Because it should never matter what I personally believe about a candidate or an issue. My job is to ensure that every candidate, every ballot initiative, and every voter gets a fair shot. And that's that every vote, that every voice is heard, because that's what democracy demands. And if we're going to take back the state, and if we're going to restore power to the people, then we need leadership that is fearless, that is fair, and that is focused on protecting the fundamental right to vote. I'm Allison Russo, and I humbly ask for your support on May 5th. Thank you.
That's why they're not here. Okay, right. All right, before we move on to District 10, we've had a surprise guest show up. We won't talk about his email responding skills, but please welcome, this is a Democratic candidate for Attorney General, Elliot Forhan.
Thank you. I just want to say first, thank you so much to the Greene County Democrats and all of you in this room for everything that you're doing for Greene County, for the state of Ohio, and for our democracy. Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you, notwithstanding my apparent failure to read the email. My name is Elliot Forhan. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm running for Ohio Attorney General. I'm here to do 3 things. Tax the rich, thank you, stand up to bullies, and prosecute Donald Trump to the fullest extent of the law. Thank you. Who believes that the laws apply equally to everybody, including the rich and the powerful? Does anybody here believe that? Yes, that's how it should be. But that's not what's happening right now in Ohio or across the United States. Dave Yost has politicized and abused his office something awful, letting his rich friends get away with murder. I beat in court once already Dave Yost's lawyers, and I'm suing him again right now, together with other corrupt Ohio politicians. So I will beat Dave Yost again. Now, I'll come clean with you. Mostly who I'm suing are Republicans, but there might be a Democrat in there as well. Now, beating Republicans is my number 1 priority, but I believe that accountability is for everyone. We need to keep our house clean as well. Now, I'm going to keep this short. I know you guys have a program to get to. I just want to say again, my name is Elliot Forhan. I'm running for Ohio Attorney General. I'm running to apply the law equally to everybody, including the rich, including the powerful, and including the President of the United States. I'm focused on specific priorities to make that a reality. First, end the culture of corruption in our state, including catch and prosecute rich tax cheats. Second, enforce the guarantee under the Ohio Constitution for full and equal funding for our public schools. And third, maybe most important, across the United States right now, Democratic State Attorneys General are getting results in court to stop the illegal actions by Donald Trump and the rest of this out-of-control federal government. What is Dave Yost doing? Well, he's not just standing on the sidelines, he's cheering on and participating with Trump and the rest of them. So, when I'm Ohio Attorney General, we're not just going to join that fight, we will be leading that fight. Again, I want to say thank you so much to the Greene County Democrats for everything that you're doing. May 5th, get out there and vote. Thank you.
Thank you, no worries. All right, excuse me. All right, moving on. Let's get our District 10 congressional candidates up here, please. Let's give them a round of applause.
Somebody left their phone up there.
Who's lost their phone?
Somebody? Phone?
Steve, leave it on the table.
There's Steve Johnson.
This is the order we will be going, yes. We're doing reverse, alphabetical, but you can really sit wherever you want. I don't think it matters.
I got up like 3. Yes, that's why I was curled up here next to the shop, so I just kept my hand to it. Doesn't matter.
All right, so here's our District 10 candidates. Let's give them a round of applause, please. All right, so you guys know the rules. 3-minute intro. We are going to go reverse alphabetical because I heard that you guys have gone alphabetical like in 100 different forums so far. So Tony, you are up. 3 minutes.
I grew up watching my father come home from 40 years on the Ford assembly line. Hands beat down, back wore out. But he walked through that door proud because he had a union card in his wallet. And that meant one thing: nobody could take what he earned. My mother built a small business in Hamilton, Ohio. I watched her sit at the kitchen table at midnight, staring at numbers, hoping the bank balance would hold until Friday. I am Tony Pombo. I'm running for U.S. Congress, and that's where I come from. Now let's remember who we are. This is the place that built the planes at Wright-Patterson when the world was on fire. That built the middle class with factory jobs and union cards, and the idea that a day's work should earn a day's pay. And right now, 1 in 4 of our neighbors in Dayton lives in poverty. In the richest country in the history of the world, in the city, one of the cities that made that wealth possible. Seniors cutting bills in half isn't an accident. Parents putting food back on the store shelves isn't an accident. Young adults working full-time jobs, moving back home into their childhood bedrooms is not an accident. That's a choice. And the people of this district deserve the congressman who made a different one. Mike Turner has had 20 years. And last summer, he voted yes on a bill that cuts $1 trillion from Medicaid and $186 billion from food assistance. Health experts predict 900 premature deaths in our state by 2040 because of that vote. 900 empty chairs at kitchen tables across our state. Sure, Mike Turner did protect some jobs that he saw from his office window, but he let healthcare walk right out the back door. Power does not excuse you from accountability. It demands it. I grew up here. I built a business here. I worked at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base as a civilian computer engineer. For over a decade, I went door to door across the district as an electrician. When Mike Turner tries to make this race a test of who knows this district better, I will answer him with my own life experience. I don't just want a seat at the table. I want to flip the table over and rebuild it for the people who built this country. I'm not going to Washington because I deserve it. I'm going to Washington because you deserve it. For too long, the people in Washington, including Mike Turner, have mistaken our patience for acceptance. That ends in November. I am Tony Pombo. Please vote for me. Thank you.
Cal, can you go into the cabinet and just see why that's squealing? Maybe did you turn up your microphone?
When you move the speaker over by your microphone, I don't know. That's when it starts up top. When it was over here, it didn't do that.
All right, well, let's
I
go
don't
back
know.
there.
Okay, that's why we didn't hear it through the PA.
Hopefully this is better. I'm Kristina Knickerbocker, and I'm running for Congress against Mike Turner. We have 19 days until the primary. And I have served as a healthcare professional for nearly 20 years. A decade of that I spent at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where I served as a United States Air Force officer. And I worked at the 88th Air Base Wing and the 445th Aeromedical Staging Squadron. I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution. Today, we are seeing an unprecedented attack on the rule of law. We must defend our democracy. It is time we pass pro-democracy legislation like the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. It is time we ban congressional stock trading. And we need corporate PAC money out of politics. Today, I was honored to be endorsed by End Citizens United. I have pledged I will not take a dime of corporate PAC money during my campaign or my time in office. As a nurse practitioner, I have seen immeasurable suffering. I am sick and tired of fighting insurance companies so my patients can have medications that I have prescribed them. I am sick and tired of treating my cancer patients who can't get time off of work to take care of themselves. I am sick and tired of the chaos in Washington. We must focus on healthier communities with sustainability in mind. We must have affordable healthcare systems and make sure healthcare is a public option for everyone. It is time that we have someone in office that people can relate to. My children, Jonah and Rhea, are 4 and 1. I want them to be raised in a country where they know that they can look up to leadership that has high integrity, that will fight for what's right, and that will not be bullied. That is why I am standing here, because I know I am the only one who can beat Mike Turner. We need everyone in this room to stand up and tell other people that you get a chance to make a difference in your vote. And I hope to earn your vote so that I can bring impact to not only this county, but across the country. I urge you to vote Kristina Knickerbocker because I want to be the servant leader you deserve.
My name is Jan Kinner, and I'm running for the District 10 Congress as well. The difference between me and these folks here is I actually have a plan to do something once I'm elected. Please go to the websites, do a comparison of the candidates, and make a decision about who can best represent you once you get there. A little bit about me. I served in the Air Force for 31 years. I'm a retired Air Force colonel. After that, I worked in the corporate world for 4 years, and after that, I taught for 14 years as a professor. Today, I'm a volunteer for the state of Ohio as a Medicare counselor. They call them a SHIP counselor. So I do go out and see all kinds of horror stories and help people get on Medicare and then Medicaid as well. So that's kind of what my background is today. I've got the requisite degrees. I got 3 master's degrees. I'm ABD at the University of Alabama, et cetera. And everybody here has got those kind of qualifications in regard to degrees as well. They're good candidates, but again, the difference between them and me is that I actually have a plan. So what's going on right now is pretty bad up there in DC, right? There's a loss of integrity. Even Kristina mentioned that there's been a loss of integrity up there. What has Mike Turner done? Well, I've been all over this district. I've been to Phillipsburg, down to Trenton, and I don't know if you're aware of what this district is. It's Greene County, Montgomery County, and a piece of Butler County because they're redistricted. Okay, so I've been down to Trenton, Jamestown, all over the place. And when I ask the question, who is your representative, they don't even know. Most people, really seriously, most people don't know. And that's been pointed out before. Mike's been here for over 20 years. He's never had a town hall meeting. He doesn't answer emails. He doesn't answer phone calls. He doesn't, I don't know what he does. There's 2 jobs that congressional representatives have to do. Make laws and represent their constituents. Mike has failed on both pieces. Both pieces. I'll remind you, both pieces. The one piece he's really failing on right now, other than representation, is he's failing to stop this war in Iran. This is an illegal, unapproved war. Let's put it this way. Congress had a role. They've turned down, they've shot down 2 authorization bills to shut this war down on the War Powers Act right now. The Republicans have voted against it every single time. One of those Republicans is Mike Turner. Okay, so they've had their chance to do it, they're not going to do it. And frankly, this is a big problem for us right now because how are they financing this war? Yeah, where's the money coming from? To me, one of the biggest problems we have right now is national debt. And the interest on that debt is killing us. Okay, it's $1 trillion a year, and our national debt is $39 trillion right now. That is, the interest on the debt alone is more than we paid for Medicare last year. And soon it will be Social Security too. Your Social Security benefits and Medicare, the benefits are going to be cut in 6 years because guess what? There's no financial mechanisms left for them. Somebody's got to go in there. My goal is to go in there and clean up this economy, make some major changes to the economy, to tax rules, what's going on. Let's start taxing the rich the way you're supposed to be. There's challenges to wealth tax, by the way. So I can go on, but please check my website. That's where the information is, and you'll see there's a big difference between me and these candidates behind me. If you want to find out more information about me, my site's right back there. Please pick up a card, Jan Kinner for Congress. Thank you very much.
First and foremost, before we start a stretch, we've been hearing a lot of people talk about themselves. Let's take a moment and breathe, okay? All right. First of all, I want to say thank you for coming because, like none of my opponents, I want to thank you for being here. You could have been eating dinner at 8 o'clock at night on Thursday, but yet you get to hear us talk and actually vote. So again, my name is Manuel Foggie, and I'm running for Congress to get Mike Turner out of here. I know you're ready for him to retire. I'm ready for him to retire as well. When he ran for Congress, I was in the first grade. I have 5 kids now, anyways. But yes, let's send Mike Turner to retirement. Let's send him out of here and a whole bunch of other people in Congress. But before I start, again, my name is Manuel Foggie. I was born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. I attended the University of Cincinnati for undergrad, and I also attended the University of Cincinnati School of Law. And I'm the father of 5 children. 4 of my 5 children go to Fairborn Public Schools. And I currently work for the Hamilton County Court of Common Pleas in the drug court division. It may not be a glamorous job, but it's the most rewarding job because I get to help people that's dealing with substance abuse problems does not get punishment. And substance abuse is something that each and every last one of us deal with indirectly or directly. Some of us in recovery, some of us know someone that's in recovery, or some of us know who's battling with addiction. So that's a little bit about me. So why am I running? I'm not running because my wife and I are doing everything right, but still find ourselves struggling. We went to college, struggling. We raised our family, struggling. We have good career jobs, but yet we're struggling. Yet we're paying almost $5 a gallon for gas and still struggling. Why? It's because politicians are corrupt. Let's go to Washington. Let's put our foot so far up somebody's. You finish the race. But in 1963, it was a man, Dr. Martin Luther King. He had a dream. That dream was a social justice dream. Right now, working families have a dream as well in America. It was once called the American dream, but yet, it's an economic dignity dream that we have now. That if you work hard in America, you'll be able to afford health care. You're able to afford to retire with dignity. You'll be able to send your child to a safe school that's thriving, and we do not have to continue to keep cutting schooling funds. Let's go get the federal money and let's bring it back to our district, not to our state, because we know what our state representatives do with our money. They give it to billionaires to build a stadium. Ooh, I was going to say something. F no, we're not doing that on our watch. I want to bring money back to my district, not to my state, because we should not have to fight for clean water. Why the oh my God. We have to fight to get clean water. It's water. But yes, on May the 5th, I'm the only one that should have your support. I'm the only one you should support because I know how to write legislation because I work for a court system. That's all we do is write legislation. I'm the only candidate that can say that. I'm the only candidate that got the distinction for Moms Demand Action as the gun sense candidate. We're going to have public safety. So on May the 5th, which is Cinco de Mayo, my name is Manuel. Make sure you vote for me. Thank you.
Technology. I gotta do this with 2 hands, apparently. I'm David Esrati, and I work really hard at keeping people informed of what's going on. And I really appreciate the questions about primaries and endorsements that you heard earlier. Because primaries, like the one you have right here, this is good for democracy. It's not good when you put people in the back room and you tell people who to vote for. Same thing for endorsements. Endorsements are someone else telling you how to vote. They're making their mind up for you. And what is the problem in this country is we've sold out to billionaires. And since Mike Turner's been in office, we've gone from 236 billionaires in this country to 978 billionaires. If you have my little card, it's got it on the back. There are incredible problems with privacy, where they're selling you, your data, you, your eyes, your time, and they're controlling the messages you hear. And the reality is, if we were playing the game of Monopoly, which was invented in 1903 as an educational tool to show you what happens when one person owns everything, the game's been over for a long time. Citizens United was the absolute end of it, and it needs to go. But what we have to do is have plans for the future and big ideas. Anybody know what I do for a living here, other than Kim? Anybody?
Yeah, fast food restaurant.
Wrong. Anybody?
Marketing.
Marketing. Who said that? You get a T-shirt. Here you go. Elections, not options. Okay. I own an ad agency. I approach things a lot differently than other candidates, and especially lawyers. Lawyers are the worst thing that ever happened to politics. Okay. I never wanted to be a lawyer because you get extra credit. It's the only profession you get extra credit for plagiarism. Everything's a citation from something else. You don't have original ideas. You just find somebody else's and say, oh, this plus this equals this. We need new ideas. We need a voter information system where you basically answer questions about how you feel about issues, and the candidates have a vetted site where they have to put their information. They have to answer those same questions, and it will match you automatically. I call it OK Democracy. It's like OK Cupid when it was still a good dating site. But people say, well, why is that? Because the only way we're going to fix this is if we get away from the two-party system, we get some other voices into office, which can't happen right now. And people are going to have to spend so much time going out and doing the research, because most people are too busy just trying to put food on their plate and make their house payment. This is not that complicated. Now, if you go and look me up online, you're going to find so much stuff that's going to overwhelm you, okay? I've been doing this for a long time. But most importantly, I want you to know the number one job is to remove Donald Trump from office before this country ends. And the only person who has filed in the Supreme Court to remove a corrupt politician standing right before you in the Supreme Court, we're waiting for them to get to it. And in order to do that, where I get no financial back, I don't get money back, I don't get time, the only thing I get back, okay, is a lawsuit from the clerk of courts where he used county resources to say I'm a psycho killer. So, you're going to read more about that soon, but I'd like you to remember David Esrati. You can find stuff online, and this video will be online so you can share it with all the people you didn't make it here so that they can see this too. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I didn't think I'd be back up here for a while. It's good to be here. I still hate the 3-minute timer. I'm going to read the speech because I am representing Janice tonight. She already had accepted another invitation that came out ahead of this one, so she sends her regrets and she asked me to be here in her place. Who am I? I am Teresa Gasper. I'm a precinct captain in Beaver Creek. I'm the past regional chair of Beaver Creek North. And I too ran against Mike Turner in 2018, and no one has come closer. I know what the winner of this primary will be up against. I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted with the chaos, the cruelty, the incompetence coming out of DC. I don't need more fear-mongering, anger, or volume right now. I need a Portland storm. Calm, measured, and competent. Those of you who have already met Janice will have to agree that that's a pretty solid assessment of her. So let's look at the field. Any of the six up here on their worst day is still better than Mike Turner.
Amen.
And if we're honest, there's not a lot of daylight between policies and platforms because they're all good, solid Democrats. So what should we be looking for? We're choosing who walks in on day one ready to do the specific work that this moment requires. And this moment is anything but normal. While Mike Turner was giving tours and cutting ribbons, Janet Beckett was inside the fence, advising on the F-16, the B-2, the Predator, and the Global Hawk, negotiating the international agreements that actually keep our alliances intact. No cameras, no press conferences, no Sunday morning talk show circuit, just the work. As Deputy General Counsel of the Defense Security Cooperation Agency, I did it, she counseled on foreign military sales, international grants, and the legal frameworks that shape our relationships with allies and partners around the world. She knows those relationships, and she also knows how to tell a 4-star general that the answer to his request is no. Mike Turner has spent 20 years calling himself the guardian of Right Pat. For a lot of people in this community, that's been reason enough to keep pulling the lever for him. Janice Beckett is the off-ramp. She doesn't just match his credential at the base, she exposes it because she did the work. He posed for the photos. None of us know what November is going to look like, but if our alliances are still frayed, if the legal architecture of the American security is still being dismantled by piece, I want the lawyer in a room. The one who's been in those rooms and the one who knows how the frameworks hold. On behalf of Janice Beckett, we are both asking for you to vote for her on or before May 5th. And thank you, everybody, for coming and participating.
All right, thank you, everyone. Teresa is not going to be answering the questions for obvious reasons, but you can just sit up there and enjoy things. All right, so question number 1, and Manuel, let's start with you.
Question number 1.
All right, so we gathered these questions from our Discord. We said, give us the questions that you want to hear, so I have kind of condensed and summarized.
Mike, question's over.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so these are questions from basically members of GCDP. All right, so first one. While the number of votes is the most important thing in an election, obviously, do you think getting more volunteers or more donations for advertising is the best way to get more votes?
Oh, that's a good question. Thank you.
I thought so too. That's why I picked it.
So, money over people. That's what we have now.
We have answers.
2 minutes. Money over people.
No, 90 seconds.
45 minutes. No, that's what we have now. We have money over people. So I do not believe that money is the way to go. If that's the case, I'll be the richest candidate right now. I'll take the pledge to keep dark money out of politics. I can barely get money in the light right now with this economy. So I believe that we should have organization. We should know how to go out and attack as a team. I believe quality over quantity matters. So let's get good representation. Let's get in our communities and get out here and go get the votes ourselves. That's why I'm dressed like this. Normally I'm pretty in a suit. But yeah, I was just door knocking right before here because you can't be for the people if you're not with the people. So I pledge to be with my people. I pledge to be with my community no matter what. And that's a testament to now because, as I said earlier, I live and work in Hamilton County. It's in Cincinnati. So I drive out here to campaign and I drive right back to go to work. So that's what I'll be doing in Washington when I'm elected. So people over money.
And I'll just repeat it. Well, the number of votes is the most important thing in an election. Do you think getting more volunteers or more donations for advertising is the best way to get the votes you need?
So I think what's most important is that we have leaders engaged with their community. And that engagement happens in many different ways. One of my favorite ways to get involved with the community is by getting involved with the nonprofit leaders that do the work. Mike Turner has not met with one nonprofit leader that I have met with as I go throughout the community, meeting with nonprofits across the counties. It is so sad to hear them say, we have to raise money to feed kids at school. We have to raise money so our small businesses can get off the ground. That is not how our government is supposed to operate. We are supposed to have our government support people, and that's why I am fighting for every single person in this county is we deserve better. And as I met with the leaders across these counties, they know that Mike Turner is not the answer. So I hope that I can earn your vote by showing you that my involvement through diverse communities, not just in Greene County, not just in Dayton, but Middletown, Beaver Creek, these small cities that need people willing to advocate for them. And that's what you will get from me when I'm elected to office.
Do you need me to repeat the question?
Please, yes.
Yeah, well, the number of votes is the most important thing in an election. Do you think getting more volunteers or more donations for advertising is the best way to get more votes?
Well, personally, I'm not a big fan of donations for advertising. I think that's horrible. And I really almost was crying when they turned down ranked choice voting in this state. I think that was a horrible mess, and we shouldn't be doing that. I think the way to go basically is grassroots movement. You need to go out and talk to the people and find out what's going on. And whether it be Democrats, Republicans, or independents, and the vast majority of voters out there are independents for the general election. Okay, that's why I know that. And the only way you're going to convert them basically is go talk to them and find out what's bothering them. And a lot of the issues out there, you've heard them today. It's Medicare, it's Social Security, it's immigration, it's firearms. All those things are there. So the best way to do it is go to talk to people, sit down with them, have coffee with them, and listen. Don't tell them what you're going to do. Ask them what they want done. And ask them what their thoughts are. Sometimes they don't want to hear the bad news. Folks, we've got to change the way our economy operates today. Everybody's asking for a free ride. All these candidates up here will promise you everything. It comes because you need money to do it. Well, where is that money coming from? Okay? All they're going to do is print more money. Your interest rates will go up. Your dollar value will go down. Okay? Your dollar value will go down. We're going to have some serious economic problems in this country in very short order. Okay, some tough choices got to be made. That's why I want to go to D.C. and change the way we work our economy, change the tax structure, get away from consolidation and monopolies in this business. But the way to do it is to talk to people. I've talked to the farmers. They're in a hell of a mess right now with fertilizer prices up 45% right now. Okay, they're never out to put stuff in the ground. They're hurting right now. Time. Thank you very much. Over to Tony.
Question?
Yeah, well, the number of votes is the most important thing in an election. Do you think getting more volunteers or more donations for advertising is the best way to get more votes?
Interesting question. I'm an outside-the-box thinker, so when I heard that, my response is different. One of those, money for advertising, is me telling you what I want to say. The other option, getting volunteers, is me interacting with you, working as a team on what's important to you and what's important to me and coming together. So I think the answer, which nobody said yet, volunteers is the better choice. The reality is our system works on money. It sucks. It's one of the things I hate about this job. I have to call people, ask for money. We all have to do it. We all have done it. It sucks to call people you don't know and say, give you money. It sucks. But you have to do it. I hate it. If we can change the way campaign finance is done, and we all want this reform, then we can put more effort into the volunteers working with the people and not the money. We should get money out of politics. That's my answer.
Thank you.
Good job.
Do you need the question again?
No, I got the question.
All right.
$15 billion is what they spent on an election cycle. That's $15 billion we could have spent on healthcare. We could have spent on having less homeless children. We could have done all the things that Trump's done to get rid of immigrants that made this country. They find housing for them when they can't find housing for us. Okay? Money is never going to be the answer. Okay? Volunteers are the answer, but what the secret is, and this is where the Ohio Democratic Party, the DCCC, everybody has made a mistake, is they don't know how to run campaigns. They don't know how it's done. The last person who knew how it was done was Barack Obama, who built his whole system from scratch. And the sorry thing was, he didn't give it to the party. They didn't keep it updated. That data went away. It's all data driven. Every single candidate is in the Ohio Democratic Party that's running is not getting the support they need with the data, the tactic, the way that you actually do that outreach. If you have the volunteers, you need a mobile app, you need to track things, you need to have one person calling on that voter, not 8 or 10 for every single candidate. There is a way to win elections. It involves actual strategy and knowledge on how this is done. This primary, just to remind you, less than 10% of the people vote, okay? And they're choosing for everybody else. And then, when you get down to the general election, the question is how many independents are going to vote for the candidates that are on the ballot? When I ran in 2022, I had no party support, I had no big money, and I bested Nan Whaley, the Golden Girl, in Greene County. She had $8 million, I did it on $40,000. You need people that know how to do that. That's me.
And actually, go ahead and keep that in mind, and we'll start coming back. And even you might as well keep going because you're already actually into the next question a little. We have had loss after Democratic loss after Democratic loss. What are you going to do differently to win than prior candidates?
Okay. One of the first things I did a long time ago was sign on for the Democratic Creed, which I'm so happy to see you guys roll out, because Democrats have screwed the pooch. They've been unable to enunciate what they stand for, while Republicans have this message, make America great again, okay? And now I'm an outsider and I'm gonna run this country like a business. And yet people don't understand what running this country actually means. It means making sure we don't have homelessness. It means that nobody goes broke when they have cancer. I mean, this stuff is simple stuff, and the Democratic Party has not found a message or a strategy or supported the systems they need to do this, okay? So, we've got to get more efficient at messaging. We have to have clear things. And if you hear the word affordability come out of anybody's mouth, slap them, please. You have to have concrete examples. For instance, you know, Bernie Sanders teamed up with Josh Hawley. Talk about the odd couple.
30 seconds.
Yeah, talk about the odd couple. And they said we should make credit card rates 10%. And then, Citibank and media says, there's no way we'll cut everybody's credit cards off. And they listened to them because Citibank owns half of Congress or more. Okay? The billionaires own us. The answer is already on the books. Credit unions cannot charge more than 18% on credit cards. So go to a credit union. If you got a bank, get your credit cards there. We could make that nationwide. Instead, it's $29.99 that they can charge. We can fix this. We can have concrete examples, and that's what I have on my site. Thank you. We're just going down? Okay.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
What are you going to do differently than prior Democrats so that we actually win this time?
I think this is simple. Okay, the problem that the Democrats have, it's gonna sound bad, they're too smart. Okay? The Republicans speak at like a 3rd grade level. And the average American, from what I've read in a recent poll, was they speak at a 5th grade level, so it matches. When we come out and talk eloquently about all these plans that we have and what we're going to do, it goes over some people's heads. You come out and say, make America great, yep, they love it. So we need to simplify our message, have more emotion in it. The Make America Great message works because it's based on emotion. Your parents had a great life. They had a pension, they had a union job. They came home and they knew they would retire with dignity. The kids today don't have that. Those are gone. So they say, we'll tie on emotion, we'll make America great again. Well, we come out and say, the economy's not that great. Look at these figures. I mean, Kamala Harris did this. So we need to speak more to emotion in general. This is a mistake that we have. What I will do is not just that. We need to be able to understand the other side. I talk to so many Democrats that can't understand why people like Trump. I know why people like Trump. I know why Republicans are successful. All of my neighbors are Republicans. Many of my friends are. One of my best friends is a libertarian. He didn't vote for Trump because Trump is too far left. So I talked about understand what he wants. I know how to talk to him and reach him and get him to vote for me, even though it may not appear to be his first choice. That's what we need. Somebody who can reach out to Democrats that used to be Democrats that think their party abandoned them. That's me.
After many years of losses, what are you going to do differently than prior Democratic candidates to win this time?
Yeah, I echo what Tony said a little bit too, and as well as Dave here. It's a lot about the messaging. I've been out all over the county and asking people a lot of questions about the Democratic Party, and a lot of them don't even know what the Democratic Party is all about anymore, what they stand for. Remember what happened when Trump came into office, though? He had a plan, actually, 2025, and he executed that plan on day one with millions of executive orders, right? The Democratic Party never has a plan. It seems like they just want to flounder as they get into office, and we're going to try to do something. They make some promises and never actually deliver. Okay? We need to have some plans in place, what we're going to do once we get in office. What can we do? We got to make others, we got to have some informed citizens too. That's another problem we have. And that's a real challenge. We're great at making consumers in this country, but we're terrible about making citizens. A lot of cases, they don't even know how the government works. I'm not kidding. I've been out all over the place and I ask these kind of questions. If I ask somebody how many Supreme Court justices there are, I get crickets. I hear nothing. I ask them who won Best Picture for Oscar, and boom, they can spill their guts on that in about 2 seconds. So how do we need to win this for the Democrats? We got to do better messaging. We got to tell them what we're going to do, and then we've actually got to do it. We can't sit back and say we're going to promise something and not deliver. It's time for us to step up and start delivering. So vote for the person that's got the best plans, and frankly, that's me. Thank you very much.
What we are missing in Congress is relatability. And there's only 7% of Congress that are moms. As a mom, a veteran, and a nurse practitioner, I have thousands of stories of how people have suffered from all different systems that are written in Washington by politicians that are completely out of touch with what we are facing. And in order to fix that, we need someone that's willing to build relationships. And that's exactly what I do with my patients as a nurse practitioner. That's what I did as an Air Force officer. And I was able to get shit done. And with that, I was able to talk to attorneys. I was able to build policies to bring better patient outcomes. I worked with the Inspector General of the Air Force. I worked directly with the CEO of the hospital. And guess what? I was promoted early because I knew how to change policies and make things better to work for the people, not against them. I have a huge track record for making sure that we actually see impact. And that's exactly what I will do for you when I am elected to Congress.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. After many Democratic losses in this race, what are you going to do differently than prior Democrats to make sure you win?
Do what the Greene County Democrat Party is doing. That's reorganizing, that's planning, and that's actually getting people organized to do the work. Whew. As you can tell, I'm the youngest candidate up here on this stage. Yeah. But no, I'm the youngest person. So that means, how can we connect the younger people? That's what Amina said earlier. We have to connect those younger people. Because each and every last one of you did an amazing job by laying the foundation. But it's time for you to pass this baton to the next generation so we can pick it up and we go. My generation, we do not believe in politics because we've been promised so much, but yet I can't afford a home without paying $300,000 or $400,000 for a 4 or 5 bedroom house, or the same 2-3 bedroom house that you all bought 10, 15 years ago was $100 and some $1,000. I don't believe in politicians. I don't believe that, I'm going to lower your costs. Bullshit. So let's get organized. Let's get people together. Let's plan. Let's strategize, and let's change the message and actually do what the fuck we were supposed to do. in office and actually make the issues more local and more personal. Because right now, we're talking about overall the country, the message of the Democrats, but yet we're forgetting about that 1%, the 2%, the 3% that actually, what are you gonna do for me in my household? And every decision I make in Congress is gonna come down to one thing. How is this gonna affect the people sitting at the kitchen table trying to decide if they're gonna pay gas money to go to work, or is they gonna put groceries on their table and go to the grocery store and buy a carton of eggs for $35,000?
Thank you very much. All right, we've got one last question, and we have taken this down to 60 seconds because time is marching on. So you will get the knock with 15 seconds to go. All right, so this is the, I guess the timely question. War. What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
So the question is, what are your thoughts on the current war we're in? Should we be in it?
Hell no!
And will you vote to continue to arm Israel?
Hell no, we should not be in that damn war.
No, that was quick.
Period, that's all. But no, we should not be in that war. I would never vote for a war that we have no damn problem being in. We should not be in that war at all, because guess what? That war is nonsense. And guess what? We lost people that was close to this region. We lost a neighbor. We lost a neighbor because of a senseless war. Did I answer that?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell no. And I will stand up for America. And if we don't have a threat that's threatening the United States, that's threatening the kitchen tables, that's threatening your house, what the fuck are we doing?
Exactly.
What the fuck are we doing? So hell no to the war.
Yeah.
Remember, less is more. You don't have to take the whole 60 seconds.
So, as we campaign, I am off of my phone often. So sometimes I will get news from my campaign manager or my team. And when I heard that we were going to war with Ron, I was just really ill. And what hurt me the most was I thought of my patients. They can't afford their appointments with me. They can't afford getting labs drawn. They can't afford to put food on the table. They can't afford housing. Yet we decided to go to war without congressional oversight. And as a person that served in the Air Force, I know what that leads to. I know that people serve the ultimate sacrifice, and they come home with broken bodies. And we know we need someone in Congress that knows the cost of what it means to send people overseas. And that's why I will fight for congressional oversight in spending and making sure we explore all diplomatic options before going to war.
Would you vote to Israel? Yes or no? Yes or no?
What's the question?
Would you vote to arm Israel?
What?
Vote to, it's my Australian, sorry. I'll say arm Israel. How's that? Yeah. Would you vote yes or no if there was a bill to fund weapons for Israel?
I would vote no.
Okay, thank you. Next one.
Yeah, that Australian accent is something else. First of all, folks, we're technically not at war, okay? The only organization that can declare war is Congress, and they have not done it. And they haven't done it since World War II. So Congress has failed miserably. Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq. They failed miserably, okay? They haven't done it. There is in order to use force, you have to have an authorization to use military force. And what Trump is using is a 2001 for the Iraq War. Now they've had 2 House resolutions that have been shut down. They've voted along party lines that the Republicans have passed. Okay? Should we be involved in this thing? No. This is Netanyahu getting together with Trump for some egotistical thing that's got no military objectives for anything. They say it's about the enriched uranium. It's not about the enriched uranium. Didn't they obliterate that back in June? They were supposed to, right? So we're spending $1 billion a day on something that's not going to make any sense that we're going to end up paying for. This is not a war. It's not. And we shouldn't even be involved. Okay, and the question about Israel, should I vote for them? With conditions. Good conditions of humanitarian aid, yes. With military support, because they are still an ally for the Middle East, with conditions, with a lot of conditions.
Next.
What he said. Basically, yes, he's dead on. The war is illegal. It's a violation of the War Powers Act. It should not be happening. I blame Trump, of course, but I blame Congress more. Trump is just one dude. He made a mistake. He started a war. It's Congress's job to say, hell no, stop it, cut it off, bring those boys back home. It is not your choice on your own to decide if my sons and daughters come back in body bags. Not your choice. That solemn choice is Congress's choice, not yours, Trump. That Trump Turner did not say. He stood silent. He let our kids go over there and die, as he mentioned. Not acceptable. Israel. Israel is a country that's an ally. It has a solemn right to defend itself. I'm okay with giving them aid to defend themselves. The moment they use that aid to kill innocent civilians, to prevent humanitarian aid to Gaza or any place else, or attack innocents, no, unacceptable. We pull it back. We need to keep our allies at the same level we keep ourselves.
Are we ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
My father was a Zionist. He went over to fight in the War of Independence in Israel. He wrote a whole book questioning the legitimacy of the theocracy in that country. There have been a lot of mistakes made over the course of the last 75 years. Trump said he was going to fix all this. He lied. The first thing he did was fire Mike Turner from the House Intelligence Committee. And then Mike Turner is so worried he's sucking up to him on Face the Nation because he has no spine, he has no plan, and he's been a chicken hawk his entire life, working for the military-industrial complex, which is running our country. I do not support the Netanyahu government, and I think it's time he be taken out.
Yes.
Period. End of story. Like, no more money to Israel until Netanyahu steps down, the settlers stop going outside of Israel and taking over the land. Okay? But let's talk about the real war. The real war, Trump has been dividing this country and throwing things at us one after another to distract us from everything from the Epstein files to the fact that the billionaires own us. And Trump...
Thank you, Dad.
I got you to get a 15 seconds.
All right, that's it for questions. Stand up, everyone. Let's give everyone a round of applause for stepping up. This is not an easy task and takes a lot of courage. Thank you. All right, we got Ron Kincaid, come on up. He's hung out this long. Let's stay and listen to him. All right, we did not hear from Sherrod Brown. We did invite his campaign, but nothing. So, here you go, Ron. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Kim. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for staying. You're going to think this might be a little self-serving, but I bet you can guess my opinion on competitive primaries. And we just saw why. My name is Ron Kincaid. I'm from Centerville. Just a little ways away. Hey, we got Elk in the room. When I say that, a lot of times today, when people know the area, I get a look, and I know the look. It's you grew up a little bit wealthy, and it is a wealthy area. Well, I grew up with Centerville. I was there a long time. My dad worked at NCR. He didn't wear a suit and tie. He wore a blue T-shirt, oil stains, work boots. He was down on the line.
My dad too.
He was a union worker. He bought a house in Centerville, Ohio, on a union worker's salary. Now, we had tough times. My mom drove a bus in the 70s. She drove a special needs bus. Dad got laid off a bunch of times. We had tough times, but we always had a home. And I went to school I went to school with the executives of NCR. I'm still friends with a guy who was a senior, his dad was a senior vice president. I'm personal friends with a former CEO of the NCR Corporation. Dad worked in the factory. That's the Ohio that I grew up with, and that's the Ohio that's missing today. My campaign's been out about talking to voters. I do not, by the way, accept any corporate money. I have refused and have promised not to take APAC money. My opponent has received nearly $1 million from APAC. My opponent takes corporate PAC money. When we're making these decisions, sometimes it's uncomfortable if you're going to pick a principal, and this is one of those times. And you need to think about that on May 5th. Some other things you need to think about are what I hear when I go out and talk. I've been on a dozen college campuses talking to students. I need the young voters. Frankly, older people with money like me, they're going to vote for my opponent. And I like him, to be quite honest. I disagree with him politically. I got in the race because in November 2024, I woke up and he lost. So I watched Ryan lose to J.D. Vance. I watched Brown then lose to Bernie Moreno. My campaign staff argues over which one of them is the crazier, more out-of-touch person. That's where we are in Ohio. With the Democratic Party, and I've heard my message all night, thank you. The Democratic Party has done this. The Republicans didn't do this to us, we did it to ourselves. We forgot to listen. When I listen, I hear voters say they like my American dividend plan, which puts money back in the pockets of working people based on a tax against automation. They like my public health care plan, which is a not-for-profit plan similar to Medicare, having recently been involved with Medicare, it's better than Medicare, will negotiate prescription drug prices. Ohioans shouldn't pay more for a prescription drug than our Canadian neighbors. My opponent wants to patch the Affordable Care Act. We're past that. We gotta fix it. Healthcare, and I was told not to say affordability, I can take a smack. Affordability are the issues. And I talk to these college kids, that's what they ask about. They want to know about their job futures. And you know what they don't ask? Why are you running against a guy who was a 3-term senator? In their mind, it's a very simple answer. And I really don't feel like I have to make it. Now, I've met Sheridan, I like him. I respect him a great deal. I've worn out a few pair of shoes myself, working for him. The question you have to ask yourselves, though, is in November of 2026, and that's what this is about, not May 5th, it's about November 3rd. On November 3rd, those voters that we need to vote, not the ones in this room, because you guys will vote for me if I win the primary. I'm not even concerned about that. You'll work for me. This is a dedicated room. On November 3rd, the voters we need voted for Moreno. They voted for Vance, or they sat home. Ask yourselves, have you heard one message from a national Democrat, including our own other candidate in this Senate race? One message that says those voters might vote differently? Or is the message people hate Trump more, so they'll vote for us? Is that what we want? Is that the Democratic Party now? They hate Trump, they'll vote for Democrats? It's a very short-served message. If we're going to win, we've got to do something ridiculous. And my wife told me not to say that I'm a ridiculous leader. If I'm your nominee, I will beat John Husted. That much I assure you. Thank you.
Does anyone want to ask Ron a quick question?
I think you're good. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, well, that wraps up the candidate forum, so I guess round of applause again for all our candidates. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. So we're moving on to the boring business stuff. If you guys want to hightail it out, who are non-executives, by all means.
But quietly.
All right, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
We are going to approve our consent agenda, the treasurer's report, the minutes, and the committee reports are all in the meeting packet. Who's got the motion?
I so move.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? No.
Is anybody taking minutes?
No.
Also,
yes, I will.
Did you let people in on Zoom?
There was no one on Zoom.
Where are you trying it on?
We turned it off for hours ago. It was on, so sorry. All right, new business. Any new business we need to discuss that I don't know about? Take the conversations out into the lobby. There's a beautiful lobby out there. You can chat in. Tony, take it out to the lobby, please. Tony, chat in the lobby, please. We're trying to keep moving. No worries.
Yeah, we're trying to have a meeting now.
Does anyone have any new business that we don't know about? We'll do that. All right, we do have to vote in Chloe and Jack, who we nominated last month. So can I get a nomination for the two of them? Chris, and a second? Lori? All right, all in favor of Chloe and Jack joining our at-large team? Yay! Anyone against? No. Welcome to the team. For a very short time until we reorg in a few weeks. All right. You want to pledge your office? Mr. Elected Official, get your ass up here and read the pledge to Chloe. And I don't think Jack's here, is she? No. All right.
She's out of town.
All right, you can read.
Yeah.
All right.
So give her
I,
State your name.
Chloe Mason,
Do hereby swear or affirm
do hereby swear or affirm
that I will faithfully support the Constitution
that I will faithfully support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution and the bylaws of the Greene County Democratic Party.
the Constitution and bylaws of the Greene County Democratic Party.
Additionally,
I
swear or affirm
I swear/affirm
to support the principles and candidates of the Greene County Democratic Party.
to support the principles and candidates of the Greene County Democratic Party,
The Ohio Democratic Party.
the Ohio Democratic Party,
And the Democratic National Committee.
and the Democratic National Committee.
Thank you, Chloe. All right, chair updates. I'll make this quick. We do have the relog in May. So basically, you can run for chair. You can run for vice chair, first or second, secretary, treasurer. And then we also need central committee secretary and chair as well. We'll be sending out a little informational piece on that. But basically, if you want to run for any of those things, you reach out and I'll show you how to reach out. And basically, don't make me campaign for anything at this point. I got no time. If anyone wants to take me on, they'll just probably beat me. All right, and then the Sugar Maple Festival, that's our first event that's coming up. We've got our 250th, massive birthday display that we are going to be proudly marching down. Is it Main Street? I'm just going to call it Main Street, Franklin Street. Migawa has done these incredible, huge flags for us to carry on these huge poles. It's going to be beautiful. And then, unfortunately, I'm also marching in the Sugar Maple Festival Parade. So I need people to march with me too. So you'll get a little t-shirt like this. It's literally the shortest parade in history. It's very, very short. 9:30, you'll be home by 11.
I was going to say, doing one for her campaign, we also have a parade. So if anyone is interested in marching, please contact Jen. We have 13 people so far, but the more the merrier. So even if you want to bring family members, friends, or anything.
Yeah, that's the 250th thing I mentioned at the beginning.
Well, just so people know they can sign up still.
Yeah, of course. All right, moving on. That's it from me. Any EOE updates? Denise had her first meeting yesterday.
We had our first meeting, Denise's first meeting. We did our public test, LNA testing. Everything went fine with all of that kind of stuff. The only thing I wanted, which is not actually something that. What?
Hold the mic up.
Oh, okay, sorry. The one thing I wanted to point out to people is there is no grace period. Your ballot has to be in by 7:30 on election day to the Board of Elections. You cannot take your ballot to your polling place. It has to be done there. You have to turn in your own. You can turn in direct members of your family, like I could turn in my husband's, but you do have to go inside and sign an affidavit if you do that.
So the BOE is open on the day of the election to bring them into, or you just put them in the Dropbox?
You can put them in the Dropbox, but if you put in your spouses or you put in your child, you have to go into the building and fill out an affidavit. I haven't. Yeah.
Oh, they have video cameras.
They have video cameras, but obviously they have video cameras. I know that you're not that person. If everybody went and did it, they might decide that maybe this isn't a good idea.
That would require thought.
What?
That would require actual thought.
But if you do, so you can turn them in on, but if you're sending back, or if any of your people in your precincts say, I didn't get this sent in, I'm worried about it, another week, a week from today, they really, people need to start seriously getting them in the mail. But the other thing that this is what got me thinking about the Board of Elections. One of the questions I asked is, yes, you can still go vote provisionally. If you look on your phone the day before Election Day or on Election Day and your ballot has not been received, you can go to the polls and vote provisionally.
And that'll override if yours shows up later, your provisional will count.
And you have to ask for a provisional ballot. If you do not,
you get in trouble. No, they will know that. They will
know.
Require you to vote provisionally.
Okay.
Okay, they will know that your ballot was sent to you. They will know that a ballot was sent to you. You go and you vote. They say, we already sent you a ballot. You say, yes, I did, and I sent it in through the United States postal system, and our system doesn't work. No, don't take it out on poll workers. But they will say, because of that, you have to vote provisionally. Vote provisionally. Make sure if anyone asks you about this, calls you on the Monday before Election Day and says, hey, it's still not, I don't know, I've heard this, I don't know what's going on. Get on your phone, look up and see if their ballot is, we all know how to do this. Get up, see if and if it hasn't, they tell them if at all possible, and if need be, drive them to the poll for it, But yes, they can vote provisionally. That way, if your ballot does not show up by 7:30 p.m., you'll still have voted.
All right, thank you.
That is legal, so if there's any questions about that.
Yeah, Denise.
One thing that is pretty impressive for me was the staff is already made a relationship with the local post office director. There's a new woman who's running the Xenia post office, and they're going to be going to the post office at 6:30 on election night, and then we'll have they're going to be collecting them in the post office, and they'll have them packaged up ready for the Board of Elections to pick up.
That's nice.
Wow.
That's great. Yeah. So, but make sure people know that there is no grace period anymore, but you can, if need be, go and vote.
Okay. All right, thank you, Wendy. All right, old business. This vice chair bylaws change that we went over. Again, it's in the packet. Do you want to talk about that?
We talked about this at the governing board meeting. We went through it. The majority of the changes are just, we took some things from paragraphs to bullet points. The one significant change was that we changed the approval of the budget from December to January. That means we don't necessarily, since we have to meet.
We don't have to meet.
Since we have to meet in January at least every other year, we decided that it just made a little more sense. It also gives the budget committee a little bit more time between the election.
Yeah.
And just to get it done. But the major change is that we will now have two vice presidents.
Vice chairs.
Vice chairs, and this is not correct.
I don't know what that is. Here's the one I've got that was in the packet.
This is the previous one that has the first vice.
So basically, the first vice chair is going to be like an internal vice chair.
Internal and an external.
And an external. Or is that the other way around?
We just have one now, yeah.
It's not supposed to.
It's supposed to be internal and external.
You're not supposed to say first vice chair and second vice chair.
No, it's external and internal.
Yeah, this is not the most current.
I just read that, but
I thought it was internal. Yeah,
Okay.
that's,
Basics.
You're right.
Where is, I don't know.
Here, this is the most current, I guess?
No.
No?
my God, all right. Do we know what it is?
Basically, we'll have an internal vice chair and an external vice chair. The reason they're not called first and second is it has to do with the requirement that if we have a first vice chair, they must be the opposite gender of the chair. If we don't call them first and second, as long as one of them is the opposite gender of the chair, which we have language in there that says that. I figured you were gonna have it posted like you did last time. Yeah.
I vote for it. I move for
But
it.
it'll be the first vice chair or it won't be the first vice chair and second, it'll be the
Internal and
internal and
external.
external.
We got it.
The external will help with things that are external.
Like ODP.
Like ODP, the chairs committee, things like that. The internal will work within the party with our committees and our local groups.
Chair, and
Yeah.
Was that a motion we had?
Yes, I motion.
All right.
Wait. Motion first.
We need a motion and a second before we have discussion.
And Teresa.
Question? Well, I don't know if what I read was correct, but the draft I saw, that I just read today, that was sent out, crossed out the communications committee. Is there no more communications committee?
Oh, that was we just took it out of the bylaws.
Oh, okay.
Because the other ones aren't in there.
What it said was that the chair could make a communications committee.
Yeah, they can do, the chair can make the committee.
It does not have to be listed.
Do you?
No.
Any other questions?
I just didn't know if Denise had access with her phone to put the final.
I'm sorry?
I didn't know if you had access with your phone to send Kim the proper.
No, we know.
We'll send it out. We've gone over this
We
130
know, it's 9
times.
o'clock, come on.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Abstain? All right, yay, new bylaws. We'll make sure the real ones get sent out to you, I promise. All right, for the good of the party, any announcements?
Are there at-large precinct captains, or did we cover that?
We did that.
Okay, sorry.
Any announcements for the good of the party?
I was distracted.
Maple,
Any Beaver Creek people need trifolds?
Yeah, we've got trifolds. You should be out knocking on your doors before May 5th. We've got everything for you. Reach out to your regional chair if you haven't already done it. Denise?
For the good of the party, is that?
Yeah, anti-racism seminar this Saturday.
Yeah.
Sinclair?
Yeah.
Anyone else got anything?
Motion to adjourn, I know you're going to ask. It's adjourned.